Good afternoon, guys. Today we're going to present testing overall ability. My name is Rafael, and the team is Francisco and Jorge. In this presentation, we will discuss one of the techniques that has been recommended and used for testing many language abilities. And we will examine the use of the techniques which we use and test in overall ability. Overall ability. The notion of overall ability is directly related to the common sense idea that someone can be good, quite good, or poor at language. It makes sense that to say someone is good at the language because performance in one skill is usually reasonable, predictor of performance in another. Here we have the chart, right here, of the score range. We have the range from 0 to 30 for reading. High is from 22 to 30, and we have intermediate and low with their respective grades. We have listening, speaking, writing, and the total. The assumption has been made that we need to obtain separate information to each of the abilities: reading, listening, writing, and speaking. But there are times that when we don't need such detailed information, when an estimate of candidates' overall ability is enough. One way of measuring overall ability is to build a test with a number of the components. Here we have the components: reading, listening, grammar, vocabulary. Specifications are written for the individual components, and they are incorporated into specifications for a test. The scores on the different components are the tests added. These are incorporated into specifications for the test. The scores on the different components are the tests added together to give an overall ability. One example of this placement is testing language in school. All it asks of a language school placement test is assign people to the level in that school. Since people normally do not prepare for the placement test, there is no need to worry about possible backlash.
Now we go to close procedure. Close procedure is done by deleting a number of words in a passage, leaving blanks, and requiring the person taking the test to attempt to replace the original words. After a short deleting, it is usually about every 7th word that is deleted. Close procedure is an attractive measure of overall ability. The result will be reliable and valid for tests of candidates' underlying language abilities. So this is an example of a close procedure. As we can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7th word is deleted. And the students have to fill it out. And the numbers that we see here is the number of the items, which later the teacher can check in his cheat sheet for the correct answers. Here we have another example. This one, as you can see, it doesn't follow the 7th word parameter as the other one. And here we can see the leading, which is the first phrase to get the student started. And the dots that are here are the empty spaces that the students have to fill in with the correct answers. The next type of close is selecting deletion close. As we can see here, we have the topic, which is ecology, and the empty spaces. Also, we have a column here with the same numbers. The deletions were chosen to provide interesting items for the students. Most were inclined to regard as testing grammar, but more than grammatical ability is needed to answer this test. Tests like TOEFL, ICT, and TKT can have these type of techniques in their exams too.
Hello, I'll be speaking about close procedure. If we want our measure of overall ability to reflect oral as well as reading ability, we can use passages which represent spoken language. This is an example of a very well-structured conversation, which, as you can see right there, it has some blanks. number 1, number 2, number 3, and it goes all the way into number 20. It has on the fill in the blanks, students will have to fill in the blanks with general English vocabulary that fits the dialogue that they are reading about. Then we have dictation, which is the passage determines the limit of what can be tested. For example, there's a dialogue, and we give him the beginning of the dialogue, and students will have to give an alternative ending to it. Then we have the C test, which is similar to close, but instead of the whole word, it deletes one part of the word. As we saw it on the close, it gives them the whole blank, so they can put more than one word. They have to finish the conversation or fit the general English that fits there. On this one, the students just have to put part of the word that is missing. So it gives them a lot of help. It gives them the beginning of the word, and they have to finish it with the corresponding part of the word that is missing. For example, today we will be playing. On play, as we know, it's future, so it's missing the ing. And today we'll be playing in the park. You have wi, which is missing th. So those are some examples of C test. And